Today we'll be talking about visual cortex. The primary visual cortex is located on each banks of calcaneal fissure. Within the primary visual area is also known as Brodmann's area 17, the striated cortex, and visual area 1. So within the primary visual cortex, the occipital pole, that is the area where we have visual perception, and in area 18 and area 19, the parastriate cortex, that's where you have visual association. The other thing that area 18 does is we have linear stimulus within area 18, and area 19 give us angular stimulus. High visual association is achieved in area 39, and angular comprehension that we get from sign language and vision. The primary visual cortex forms the first point of entry of visual information to the cortex. It displays a 6-layer cross-sectional structure. As we see in the picture, we have the occipital lobe, calcaneal fissure, midbrain, pons, medulla, parietal lobe. So as I was talking, at the back we have area 17, 18, and area 19. Layer 4C is the main input layer and contains steroid cells, magnocell input in 4CA, and pavocell input is to 4A and 4CB. Communication occurs between layers within V1. Upper layer 2 and 3 send their main output to other occipital. Lower layer 5 and 6 send output mainly to deeper brain structure and superior colliculus. Vertical column V1 represent different ocular dominance and stimulus orientation selectivity. The fovea is presented on the most posterior part of V1 on a region sometimes referred to as the macular cortex. The peripheral visual field is represented deep inside. So higher processing of vision broadly divided into where, what pathways. The where pathways involves information derived from the magnocellular pathway being passed from V1 to V2, V3 to MT. The MT is also referred to as the middle temporal visual area. And the what pathway provides information about what an object is, involves information processing from V1, V2, V3, and V4. So that's a diagram or picture showing the MT, the what, and where, and at the back we have the primary visual cortex. Arterial supply to the brain is via the anastomosis of vascular supply from the internal carotid arteries and the vertebral arteries posteriorly. Thus, the brain receives a dual blood supply. These two vascular systems meet at a circle of walls. As shown, the posterior cerebral artery supplies the occipital lobes and is the main supply to V1. However, most of the superficial layers of the occipital lobes may be supplied by the branch of middle cerebral artery. So as we see in the diagram, we're seeing the anterior cerebral artery. Midway there is a cerebral artery, and at the back of the posterior cerebral artery, then the carotid artery. So that's just a diagram showing that. So as a recap, a visual pathway starts from the retina, where we have the photoreceptors, cones, rods. Then we have the bipolar neurons, ganglion cell axon from the optic nerve. Then from optic nerve we go to the optic chiasm, optic tract fires to LGN. From LGN we have the optic radiation. From optic radiation, then information gets interpreted in the primary visual cortex.